What is going on, boys and girls? Jim here. You know the channel name. I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet here. Quick little side-by-side comparison between the Team Losi C10 scte 3.0 and the Traxxas Slash Ultimate Edition. Yeah, first run for both vehicles on this video coming up here. We actually did two runs with these vehicles. One on 3S and one on 2S. A little bit easier to control on 2S, that is for sure, but definitely a lot more fun on 3S. So let's take a look at the trucks here. Once again, already bashed up, already banged up. Just did the first run with them. They definitely look much better at the beginning of the video. We'll take a look at the body here on the Losi C10 as well before they got bashed up here after its first run. Alright, so the first run we were running on 3S once again. My brother was running on this Electron Pro 5200 milliamp 3S LiPo 50C withdrawal rate. Part number 3S5200-50D. 3S5200-50D. So that is the part number on this guy. Ordered from A-Main Hobbies. Not being sponsored by anybody, but I live up in the Northwoods of northern Michigan, and I don't have any hobby stores anywhere near me, so majority of my stuff comes from A-Main Hobbies. Battery that I was running in the Losi was this Florian 11.1 volt 3S LiPo 4000 milliamp 25C. This battery has been plasti-dipped with plasti-dip tool coating to make it as water resistant as possible, and I use this in my NQD jet boat. So Florian battery on my vehicle for the first run. Paint on the body for the Losi C10 Traxxas pre-painted. I went ahead and ordered some Tamiya paint from A-Main Hobbies, once again not being sponsored. I got 2 cans of this white PS1 white polycarbonate paint and 2 cans of this translucent yellow PS27 on the yellow, fluorescent yellow, translucent yellow. Take the body out of the box here and take a look at our paint job. Not quite as nice as the one on the box, but it's not too bad. So there we are looking at the one on the box. And there is the body that I painted. So translucent yellow and white. And I started by taping off all the white areas. So basically just did an outline for everything that I wanted to paint yellow. And spray painted that first. And then painted everything white after the fact. And then put white on top of the yellow. A little layer of white made that yellow just jump right off of the hood. Almost looks glow in the dark. Turn up the brightness a little bit. Excuse the camera angles and flash and brightness and all that good nonsense. But yeah, there we go. End product. Once again, I'm not a professional painter by any means. Trying to get these lines across the hood was kind of difficult for me. Trying to keep everything somewhat symmetrical across the hood from left to right. It was a little bit of a pain in the butt. Taping off the hood scoop and all that nonsense was a pain in the butt. Taping off the stripes on the roof. A little bit of a pain in the butt. Trying to get our line wrapping around the fender. Coming up the side. Back around to the taillights. And I brought that yellow paint straight across the center of the taillight. And back around and wrapping around the edge. A little bit of overspray right there. So yeah, that was another difficult process, trying to match up these guys left to right and trying to get the right diameter on the line or the right thickness on the line and all that stuff. Ran the green right down the side of the fender. Just tough to follow, but there's our white, yellow line there running down the edge of the fender. So yeah, that is the end result on the truck. Not quite as nice as the one on the box, but not too shabby all in all. Looking at the inside, everything was white on the inside. Sorry about the brightness. And here's what it looks like all together. Pretty good looking truck. Kick up the brightness a little bit here, since we're standing off to the side. Not too shabby. Did the best that I could with the paint on it. Once again, not a professional, but it came out okay, and it didn't really matter because after the first run, it looks like hell anyways. All right, so looking at the two trucks side by side, how did they compare? Blah, 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 all that good nonsense. Let's peel the bodies off of each vehicle. So looking at both trucks side by side, Traxxas Slash, more of a fun, goof around, all-around truck, I suppose. Backyard tracks, skate parks, go out and hydroplane water with it. Just a good, fun, all-around basher. Losi C10 scte 3.0, more of a purebred race truck by comparison. Taking a look at the Losi C10, trying to keep things on an even keel with the Traxxas Slash for the first couple runs there. Running the exact same motor and ESC combo, which is the Traxxas Valinian VXL 3S combo. 3500 kV brushless motor and ESC. Now this combo came out of my WL Toys 10428A hydroplane project truck. So this combo has been around the block. It went from my WL Toys 10428 into the Tamiya Hornet for a minute, into the Traxxas Sledgehammer for a minute, back into the Tamiya Hornet, back into my WL Toys, and now it's sitting in the Losi C10. It's seen all kinds of mileage, and it's been underwater several times. Once again, trying to keep it even with the Traxxas Slash for the first few runs. Looking at the pinion gear, this is a Techno Mod 1 pitch pinion gear. And it is a 5mm bore on the inside of the pinion gear. Trying to find a Mod 1 pitch pinion gear for this Traxxas Valinian motor is kind of difficult. I was having a real hard time trying to find a Mod 1 pitch pinion gear with an 1/8 inch bore on the inside. Very difficult to find a 1/8 inch bore Mod 1 pitch pinion gear. So I went with a Techno pinion gear and a Robinson Racing reducer sleeve to adapt it to the Valinian. Reason I went with a Techno pinion gear versus a Losi or a Kyosho or a ProTech or any other brand is just because of the grub screw. It has a 5mm grub screw, which is very large for a grub screw, and it's less likely to strip out. So knowing that I was using a reducer sleeve on this pinion gear, I wanted to make sure that it had a good strong hold on the pinion shaft. So I went with the Techno pinion gear just because it had the larger grub screw. And here is the package from that Techno pinion gear. 5mm bore, Mod 1 pitch, 15 tooth. Part number TKR4175. TKR4175. And the reducer sleeve is made by Robinson Racing. Don't see any part number on here other than this 1200 mark there. But it's a 5mm to 1/8 inch reducer sleeve. 5mm to 1/8 inch. Reducer sleeve is the key word here. Once again, all this stuff is ordered from A-Main Hobbies. If you go into the part search area and you type in reducer sleeve, these guys will pop up. So reducer sleeve is the key word on this particular part. Other things on the inside. Receiver. This is a Spectrum SR415 receiver. Please excuse the bundle of wires coming off the top of it. The receiver is also out of my WL Toys 10428A. Spends a lot of time underwater. That vehicle is completely amphibious, so you can float down streams, drive through lakes, hydroplane water, blah, blah, blah. So the receiver needed to be as waterproof as possible. Running 3-inch extensions down into all the ports on the receiver, including the bind port. Bound it up beforehand. Dipped the whole thing in Plastidip tool coating. Make sure to get that Plastidip in between all the wires. That way there's less likelihood of water getting down in between them. Basically the only spot that water can get in here now is through the casing of the wire itself or via condensation. So excuse the bundle of wires. It's a 4-channel receiver. We're only using 2 channels. The other 2 channels are being blocked off with dummy plugs. So I basically have empty plugs going into the sockets just to keep the sockets clean. Steering servo. This is a Spectrum S6260 high-speed, high-voltage servo. Now checking out some differences between the Traxxas Slash and the Losi Ultimate Edition. Losi aluminum chassis. Checking out our motor plate down here. We'll keep an eye on that, but we'll touch base on that here in a second. We have our aluminum chassis, our centrally mounted motor and transmission, or center differential. We have half shafts or drive shafts leading up to the front differential and rear differentials. All of the outdrive cups have been hollowed out and lightened. So every single one of the outdrive cups has been lightened just to make it a little bit more race ready. Looking at the motor, it has a different plate that can go on the bottom. We have the 0-degree motor plate on it right now, which is this guy. We can put a 3-degree motor plate on here, which will change the position of our motor the way it sits inside the chassis, and also change out our power output. Currently, having our motor mounted in the inline position using our 0-degree plate, we have an even power bleed between the front differential and the rear differential. So 50-50 power bleed between the front and rear differentials. If we were to put our 3-degree motor plate on here, that would twist our motor and transmission slightly to the right, which would change our power divide and would give you a little bit more power going to the rear axle versus the front axle, which would allow you to kick it sideways a little bit more coming out of corners and give you a little bit more drive coming out of turns and things of that nature. But we're trying to keep it even with the Slash once again for the first run, so I've got it set in the 0 position, so we have a nice 50-50 power bleed. Alright, let's look at the trucks close up here. Losi C10. We have our carbon fiber shock towers front and rear. Nice aluminum body shocks, bleeder screws on the top. Make life a little bit easier. Heavy duty sway bar on the front. Mounts the front of the front differential. Runs along over top of our half shafts right up here. Past the outdrive cups. Going right back here to the lower portion of our front control arms. And it spreads out pretty wide across the front. There's one mount here and the other mount's right here. So you have a nice wide spread on that sway bar. Looking at the rear sway bar. One mount right here, other mount right over there. So huge spread on the back as well. Large diameter sway bar material. Wraps around the back half of the rear differential and mounts up similar to the way the front sway bar does. Once again, carbon fiber shock towers. All our outdrive cups have been lightened. Heavy duty shafts. Heavy duty outdrive cups. Looking at our lower control arms, rear and front, we can change the kick-up angle or the pitch on our control arms, front and rear, and that is easily adjustable by replacing the insert on our hinge pin down here. So you can replace the insert on the front half of it and on the back half of it, different degrees, and change the kick-up angle or pitch on your front and rear control arms. And that is these guys right here. Bunch of different degreed caps that go in the end. And this guy down here is our 3-degree motor plate. We want to change up our power divide going from the front to the rear axle. Alright, so the vehicle came with wheels, but it did not come with tires. There's a look at our wheels. So I went out and purchased a set of Traxxas lineup SC tires, C2 compound, pre-glued to the wheels. Yeah, I took the rich guy's approach on that. I didn't feel like gluing the tires to the wheels, and time was of the essence. Late October, needed to get a video done, so I just went ahead and bought these guys pre-glued and ready to rock. Ordered from Man Hobbies once again. Other notable differences between the two trucks. Everything on this truck is screwed down and backed up with a lock nut. So our camber caster adjusters down here, they're held on with lock nuts. Our uprights on the inside of our lower control arm down here, that is held on with a lock nut down there and a 3mm screws, a lock nut up on top. Everything is held together with screws and lock nuts. Looking at the Traxxas Slash Ultimate Edition. Let's check out our front sway bar here. Turn up our brightness a little bit. Look how narrow that sway bar is on the front. As far as the Traxxas Slashes go, I believe the Ultimate Edition is the only one that includes sway bars. But very narrow spread up here on the front. And not secured down very securely at the back here. Just held in with a couple of fathead M3s being screwed into plastic and kind of pinching it to the chassis. It's not a very secure mounting location, and a very narrow spread across the 2 points on the sway bar. Looking at the shocks, plastic caps on the top, aluminum shocks, PTF coated. So they're nice shocks for what they are. Plastic chassis versus aluminum chassis. Bell crank steering system down here, built-in servo saver. Bell crank steering system on the Losi. Ball bearings inserted on the bell cranks. And there is a built-in servo saver right here as well. Low center of gravity chassis on the Slash Ultimate Edition. Battery sits recessed inside the chassis. Motor and transmission layout quite a bit different between the Losi and the Traxxas Slash. Once again, a centrally mounted motor and center differential. Traxxas Slash being at the back of the truck, closer to the rear differential. I haven't had this apart, so I'm not too sure how this all attaches down in here. Where the motor is sitting off to the one side. You know, I'm sure all kinds of people are going to be jumping in here, all kinds of Slash owners, and they're going to be telling me what's up with that. But regardless, motor's facing the back. We've got our spur gear right down here on the inside. Here's our slipper clutch adjuster right down there for the spur gear. And I'm sure it's just connected to a shaft going to that rear differential or ring and pinion. So the motor is sitting at the back. Center differential, I believe, is probably right here. And then we have a long aluminum prop shaft leading up to the front differential. All of our electronics are laid down on the left-hand side of the chassis. With our motor, our ESC, receiver, and Traxxas telemetry system. All on the left-hand side of the vehicle. Losi laid out a little bit differently. We've got the ESC over here on the right-hand side of the vehicle, or the driver's side of the vehicle. Servo on the left. Receiver on the left. Motor on the left. Battery over here on the right. Battery tray is adjustable. So you can move that fore and aft a little bit if you want to shift the weight further back. Once again, battery is sitting where it's sitting, and that's all you get with the Traxxas Slash. Mental note, the Traxxas Slash has a very large battery tray. It can accommodate many different size batteries, and it also comes with blocks of foam. That way you can position the battery in different spots on the chassis. If you want the weight closer to the rear, you can move the battery closer to the back of the truck, put the foam blocks in the front, and hold it down securely, or vice versa, move the battery closer to the front, put the blocks closer to the rear, and balance it out that way. So the Traxxas Slash has a very large battery tray. You can accommodate a bunch of different size batteries with it, and it does come with blocks of foam for shifting the battery weight forward and backward inside the vehicle. Servo is laying down flat, and everything else is on the passenger side of the chassis. As far as how things are held in, shocks just being screwed into plastic. Plastic body mounts up on top. These guys are plastic body mounts as well. Plastic shock tower. Carbon fiber shock tower. Everything being screwed into plastic, no lock nuts. Same thing on our uprights down on the inside here, which we're not going to be able to focus in on. No lock nuts on the back, just a long screw with a thread on one end. So all of our upright screws down yonder here. On the outside of our lower control arms, basically just has a long screw with a smooth shank on it, and a thread on one end where it screws into the other half of the lower control arm. So no lock nuts on those, and we actually had to tighten those up after that first run. Those guys came loose after the first run. So mental note on that, if you have a Traxxas Slash, after you do your first run, check all your screws and make sure things are tight. We also had to tighten down our sway bar mounts as well. Those guys came loose. Looking at the rear sway bar on the Traxxas Slash, held down in the same fashion as the front. Just being screwed together and pinched down between the rear differential and the rear bumper. Relatively narrow spread across the top, once again. But it spreads out a little bit more as it meets the control arms. Plastic half shafts, or CVD shafts, front and rear. Ultimate Edition comes with aluminum uprights, front and rear as well. So there is a quick look at the two vehicles side by side. Our Team Losi C10 scte 3.0, more of a purebred race truck with a centrally mounted motor and center differential adjustable, so you can change out the power divide. Carbon fiber shock towers fore and aft, aluminum shocks, bleeder screws up on top, adjustable front and rear control arms with your kick-up angle, so you can change the pitch on your control arms for absorbing bumps and what have you. Just more of a purebred race truck all the way around. Traxxas Slash Ultimate Edition, great truck, awesome truck. Long history of greatness with the Traxxas Slash, but more of a backyard track, backyard basher, skate park basher, take out and hydroplane once again. just an all-around fun vehicle. So there is a look at the two side by side. Let's go out and take a look at the run video. The Losi C10 scte 3.0, very first run with this vehicle. Traxxas Slash Ultimate Edition, first run with this vehicle as well. Looking at our course, this is just a makeshift course. We're out in my front yard right now. We've got some milk jugs marking off some turns. A little starting line area right here on this gravel portion. So we're going to run up over top of this gravel. We're going to go up this hill, make a right turn in between those two milk jugs, come back down around the edge of the wood line, go around the far edge of that other milk jug, go around the back edge of that milk jug, circle back around, up towards our little podium here, where we're going to jump over this driveway section and head back up again. So just a makeshift course for the time being. We do not have our short course established as of yet. We've got a couple little bystanders over here, little Eugene and my niece Rebecca. Wave hi, Eugene. There he is. I'm running a 3500 kV VXL 3S motor, no electric fan, 15 tooth pinion gear, mod 1 pinion gear. A little bit of body noise there. I have no idea how this thing's going to handle. Watch out for that pole. That runs pretty good. Oh, tumbled that thing right over top of that log. It's like an 8-inch log down there. Well, while you're retrieving that, I'll do a test run with this.
Oh! Watch the turn!
My tires might be a little bit loose for this. That tracks Losi boogies.
Right now it's 41 for Dad. Watch the turn! Oh!
Oh, our first rollover on the 10.
Oh!
I might not have the suspension set up right. I just kind of slapped it all together. That is a big rollover for the Slash.
Hit the milk jug!
Oh, you hit the milk jug.
Dad, put the milk jug on.
It did a corkscrew after it hit the milk jug.
See, that's why we got to do all this stuff on camera. You're driving off camera. All right, let's get lined up here before we run our batteries out.
Now we're just test running.
The top speed was 41.
Oh.
Well, I just gave it a reset. Now it's 13. See.
Are we ready here?
Do a hill climb style? Bottom of the hill?
Yeah, sure. Buggy, you want to give us a 3, 2, 1?
3, 2, 1.
Go.
Whoa!
Whoa, let's spin it out. I'm running the Traxxas. Full shot? No, what am I running? Traxxas lineup tires. That's what I'm running. You let off around that corner.
Whoa!
I'm sitting down there spinning my tires, waiting for you.
I'm going to 20.
Oh,
I'm going to 21. Dad's going to 21. I'm watching the time watching the truck.
give mine a little bit too much gas trying to keep up with you. Coming in hot.
Woo.
Until it hit the load.
Now these Traxxas lineup tires that I have on my vehicle are like little pin spikes. And that Traxxas Slash has some beefy tires on it.
It's 45 for Dad.
45 on the Slash, eh?
Ooh, there goes the Slash.
Oh, sorry. Rubbin's racing.
Oh,
Oh, you're bouncing off that post again.
Dad's bouncing.
This Losi C10 gets it, I tell you what.
They're both picking it up.
Oh, I hit the jug.
Oh,
Just a bit outside. Oh, you hit the jug
they're
too.
all hitting jugs. Oh. The top speed's still 45.
Whoa, this thing boogies. Not bad for a VXL system, really, in that Losi C10. I was kind of wondering how that thing was going to run.
It's 33.
This thing boogies. You are just doing all kinds of wiping out over there.
Yeah, you know, I like to push it.
1, 2, 3, go.
Yeah.
Okay, let me reset that.
Oh, I missed the jug.
Yours is going, Uncle.
Well, you see how fast your dad's is going. Figure out who's in front.
Alright. I'll watch the time.
Oh, yeah, those tires are yours, really.
Ah, I rolled it.
Oh.
You roll it.
Well, the top speed is 45 is what it's saying.
45 on the Slash so far with the top speed, apparently. Line-up tires, little teeny weeny pinspikes. Wet grass. We got some turfing action going on the inside on that nice white clean body. Freshly painted first run. That Losi C10 boogies. All right, give us a 1, 2, 3, kid.
1, 2, 3.
You're supposed to say go.
Whoa! Already have to send.
Sorry, I'm racing too nicely.
Whoa. Grass is nice and wet down here.
Yeah, it's a wet spot. She's got a little wet spot down there.
Stock tires, too. They don't have any serious grip on them, so to speak.
This Losi C10 boogies, man.
Oh, okay. So I'm trying to watch them and watch the part of the.
Oh, you got the jug again. I'm sitting here doing donuts and you're getting a jug. I'm down there in the wet stuff
It's
spinning.
not like the top speed was 42, but I don't think it's going that fast.
I'm pretty sure I could see 5.
I think 21. Yeah.
You're off course there.
Yeah. I'm trying to hit this in different direction.
I was watching all the cages on this thing.
Well, we are tearing up this lawn. I just got done putting a bunch of grass seed down this area. Oh, into the raspberries. Oh, I'm stuck. Oh, yeah, I stuffed it in there good. Darn raspberries. Oh, yeah, she's wrapped up in there. Whitey's getting filthy.
I think we're going to leave it.
Yellow and white, the color you don't like. Are we ready? Yep. All right. 1, 2, 3, go.
Top speed 41. Top speed 41.
41 on the Slash. Well, we need to know, you had top speed of 45 earlier.
Yeah, I reset the speed.
Just rip it across the front yard wide open and see how fast it goes. Watch out for dog poo. And cartwheel into a stop. Ready to try this again?
Yeah.
Thought you were gonna tag me. Oh, I went around the jug.
Drive to 20.
Is that like a DQ for going around the jug the wrong way?
Drive to 23. 21.
Man, this thing really jumps nice.
27.
Oh, tumbling.
There goes the Losi.
Yeah, you got it right. Oh, my battery's slowing down. 4,000 milliamp, 25C 3S LiPo on the 10. What are you running, a 5,000, 5,200 milliamp? 50C. He's running a 5,200 milliamp.
28 going over the jump.
5,200 milliamp, 3S LiPo, 50C. So he has a faster discharge rate. Mine is a 25C, 4,000 milliamp. Not bad on a VXL though for a Losi C10. Supposed to be running on that Tekin 4600 kV short course motor. But she's doing pretty good with that motor that it's got. I got a leaf on drag. Looks like the 10's winning with most completed laps here. My battery's almost dead here. That was wide open coming down that hill.
Oh man!
Dual wipeouts.
One landed up, one landed down.
Excuse me. Copy. Yeah, my battery's just about at it.
Wow.
These things are pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm really digging it.
I wasn't sure how I was gonna like the 10 either, but it's I'm digging it too. Yeah, the battery's just about it, man. It was wide open.
20.
Wide open right here coming down this hill.
20 going over the jump.
I might hit the low voltage. I might hit the overheat area on my ESC.
Oh, I just jumped
Could be
over
it.
the milk jug.
28 jump over the milk jug.
We're flashing red on the ESC, so it might be overheating. I'm not sure. I do have a fan on order for this. I literally just ordered it last night. Yeah, a little warm. Could be overheating. Definitely need a fan on it.
20 set.
We do have that fan on the Traxxas Slash, so he's still running strong. Let me power this down for a minute and see if we can
30 something.
get that to refresh.
30 something.
Alright, so the Traxxas Slash is still running. I just unplugged the Losi C10 and plugged it back in. My niece, Rebecca, is taking a crack at the Traxxas Slash. Her first run with this guy.
I'll try not to. Oh, I think it's stuck. No?
Almost.
I almost got stuck.
Oh yeah, we're getting full tilt. That was overheating, that's for sure.
Oh!
Oh, you hit the jug.
I hit the jug again.
Oh, I'm watching you.
Oh, he's out there in the...
I was watching Buggy and I stabbed the gas thinking I was her truck for a second. After she hit that milk jug.
I guess it was bucket. Oh, I guess it was.
Start cruise control, take your finger off the gas, and then brake it.
Slow steering, slow gentle steering. Let off the gas and when you're coming around the corner and then...
Oh, how the heck did I do that?
Mine just quit.
The land, you're not on the gas.
Don't hit my truck. Thank you. Yep, we just hit our low voltage cutoff limit. Got steering, no throttle. Grass wound up around my tire. A little bit of a wet spot down here. Low section on our yard, big hill that we're racing up.
Oh, I hit the jug.
You hit the jug 3 times so far, Missy. Tell you, this Losi C10 is one dirty girl. For the first run, the grass, bits of clover, mud everywhere on the inside of our beautiful white body.
Oh, whoa. That's a lot of grass.
Has been pooped on. Got big chunks of grass hanging off everywhere. First run with the Losi C10. I love it. Awesome truck. Awesome truck altogether.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Still going on the Traxxas Slash Ultimate Edition. He has put my battery to shame. What's up, Eugene?
Okay.
Hey, Eugene. Oh, over the jug. You are just rallying that truck.
Alright, I was doing worse.
Your dad was thinking about getting you one of these, and
I was indeed.
your driving skill is
That's what you worked on.
needs to be dialed in a bit. Oh, that's better.
Right.
What is the first race you took really fast?
Yeah, it's a little bit faster than the Tamiya Stadium truck.
A lot faster.
Regular Slash might be a good starter for him.
Yeah, why bother?
Yeah.
If you're gonna get one, might as well just jump into the VXL.
True enough.
Just put her on 2S for a little while.
Right. Yeah.
2S 25C. That's not a bad jump.
No, that was really good.
Sorry, guys and gals. I'm trying to stick with the truck here on camera. Go fetch.
Yeah, it's showing all the.
That's a good angle right there.
Well, I don't want to go too fast. I never drove one of these before. This is the first time I ever drove one.
Showing the RPMs. Is it 6,000, 20,000,
26 now.
7,000, 9,000, 10,000, 11,000, 13 miles an hour. Battery, you were at, I'm getting the woods in the background on the camera.
It depends on how much juice she's giving it.
What did that battery gauge go? Was that all the way up on full when you started? So it's getting down there. Got about a third left.
I think so.
Temperature gauge, 144 degrees. He hasn't really been on it. Or she hasn't really been on it all that much.
Top speed 26 since I reset it.
Since you reset it.
Yeah.
This is actually a great spot for a course. It's just too bad that it's right in the middle of the front yard.
Stop.
I'm not about to
You
sacrifice my lawn.
Yeah,
Okay.
Oh, your battery's
Battery.
dead. Low voltage. I don't know what our total runtime was. I'm guessing right around 30 minutes probably for that Slash. Guessing. And it was about 16 or 17 minutes for the Losi over yonder here. That concludes the first run with the Traxxas Slash Ultimate Edition and the Losi C10 scte 3.0. Digging that Losi C10. Once again, that truck is a beast. Handles awesome. Might need to stiffen up my suspension a little bit. It looks a little soft and squishy on the front. But not too bad all in all, especially for that VXL 3S combo. Electric fan on the way for the Losi C10. We are having an overheating issue currently. And we need a larger battery on the Losi C10. There's a look at the inside of the Slash. It is totally full of grass. just loaded. Loaded. That low center of gravity chassis definitely holds the lawn. That is for sure. Not too sure what the inside of the Losi looks like. I'm sure it's just as bad, if not worse. Looking at our sweet pristine body. Pelted with some mud on the inside. Not so pristine anymore. Oh, man.
Wow.
Talk about covered in
Oh,
lawn.
mine was dirty.
My God, it's all wrapped up around the drive shaft.
Holy cow.
Hanging off the back bumper. Dangling off the shock towers.
Look at the little shreds of grass. This was just...
Oh, this thing was just shredding the lawn.
Wow. I can't
Bumper's
believe
got
how
some
good it was
dirt in
hooking
there.
up with these little tires.
Man, some beech nut husks there. Lots of grass. I thought the Slash was holding grass, but man, good God. This thing is loaded as well. Pelted. Covered in lawn. I wonder how that's going to work with that electric fan on there. It should be interesting. Definitely need to get these guys off the lawn.
Clear.
Your fan's clear?
Yeah, there's no grass on the fan.
Your Valenian fan is still holding up. I ordered a hot racing fan for this one, so we'll see how that works out. Alright, boys and girls, that is going to do it. Very much appreciate for y'all sticking around and watching the video. First run with the Traxxas Slash Ultimate Edition and Losi C10 scte 3.0. Say goodbye there, E.
There.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you all on the next video.